The rap world just exploded on. You're about to find out why. After years of whispers, secret meetings, and wild fan theories, Kendrick Lamar has finally stepped up and said what millions have been dying to hear. The truth about Eminem's legendary status and the private friendship they've kept hidden from the world. As soon as the news dropped, hip-hop went into meltdown mode. Twitter feeds caught fire, YouTube flooded with reaction videos, and even longtime rap rivals were forced to admit they never saw this coming. Imagine one candid interview. Kendrick Lamar drops a bombshell. Not only does he call Eminem the undisputed GOAT, but he hints at a secret brotherhood, late-night calls, shared lyrics, confessions nobody outside their circle ever heard. Fans are shocked. Headlines scream betrayal and loyalty in the same breath, and Eminem himself finally responds with a cryptic message that only adds to the chaos. Meanwhile, the industry scrambles, labels panic, rival rappers plot their own moves, and the old guard is left divided, forced to reckon with a new reality. So what really happened between Kendrick and Em? Why did it take so long for the truth to come out? And what secrets have they been hiding? As the dust settles, one thing is clear: this isn't just about music. It's about respect, legacy, and the kind of friendship that changes everything. Stick around, because what you're about to hear will flip the rap world upside down as the world tried to process Kendrick Lamar's shocking declaration. The rap universe split down the middle. Some called it the greatest moment in hip-hop since the Ether days. Others screamed betrayal, conspiracy, or just straight-up disbelief. The frenzy started the very moment Kendrick dropped the interview clip on his socials. His voice steady, but loaded with years of pressure. For me, Em's always been the GOAT. That's just facts. But what people don't know is how deep this goes. He said, his eyes never leaving the camera. In that instant, the industry's fake smiles and polite respect cracked wide open, revealing a mess of real emotions that nobody could hide. Overnight, group chats and comment sections morphed into battlegrounds. Fans from both camps, Eminem's loyal stans and Kendrick's diehard disciples, rushed to take sides. Half shouted, "Finally, someone's speaking the truth," while the other half demanded to know why Kendrick would risk everything just to stir the pot. On YouTube, the reaction videos came fast, and wild hosts replayed the clip in slow motion, searching for hidden meanings in Kendrick's words and dissecting his every gesture. Even old rivals, rappers who once trashed both men, started weighing in, desperate to catch some of the spotlight swirling around this story. As the news spread, more details began to leak. Sources close to Kendrick hinted that this was no spur of the moment confession. It was the result of months of soul-searching and late-night talks with Em himself. Apparently, the two had been exchanging voice notes for years, sometimes trading verses that never saw the light of day. One insider said, "They respect each other too much to make it public." It's always been about pushing each other, never about showing off. The idea of a secret partnership, hidden even from their closest friends, fueled rumors faster than wildfire. By sunrise, headlines screamed from every corner of the internet. Kendrick crowns Eminem, rap's silent brotherhood exposed. And is this the end of the hip-hop GOAT debate? For every article celebrating Kendrick's honesty, another accused him of undermining his own legacy just to prop up a legend who, some said, didn't need it. Emotions ran high, but nobody felt it more than the artists themselves. In Detroit, Eminem's team was blindsided. For years, Slim had dodged questions about the next generation, sometimes throwing out praise, more often choosing silence. When reporters finally caught up to him outside his studio, he only shrugged and smiled. But behind the scenes, tension simmered. His manager, Paul, fielded calls from every label exec in the game, all demanding a comment. Finally, Em broke his silence online with a simple, cryptic message: "Respect is earned, not given. Appreciate the real ones." Fans lost their mind. Some saw it as acceptance, others as a warning. As both fan bases battled, more rappers joined the fray. A chart-topping artist tweeted, "Kendrick just risked it all for the truth. Much respect." A former collaborator fired back, "Nah, that's clout chasing, every GOAT crowns themselves." Even old-school icons chimed in, with one legend, calling it the biggest moment since Pac and Big. Radio shows devoted entire hours to the fallout, and even non-rap podcasts weighed in, breaking down the culture clash between old-school loyalty and new-school honesty. Meanwhile, Kendrick went dark. Friends claimed he was laying low at a secluded spot, dodging calls and letting the storm swirl without him. But that only added fuel to the fire. Rumors erupted. Was he planning a joint album with M? Was this part of a larger scheme to take control of the genre? Insiders insisted there was more coming, pointing to Kendrick's next scheduled appearance, an awards show where both he and M were nominated for top honors. Days passed, the hype only grew. Fans started digging through years of interviews, song lyrics, and award show footage, hunting for any sign of the secret brotherhood Kendrick described. Clips surfaced of backstage hugs, sly glances during performances, and even a few grainy photos of the two in deep conversation at industry parties. Reddit threads filled with theories. Some swore they found clues in the beat drops. Others claimed to have overheard studio engineers talking about a secret vault of unreleased tracks. As the awards night approached, anticipation hit fever pitch. Insiders whispered about a possible live performance, maybe even a surprise collaboration that would set the internet on fire. Fans camped outside the venue, holding up signs begging for the duo to finally go public. The air buzzed with possibility, tension, and the ever-present question, would this be the night everything changed? The stage was set, the crowd electric, and the stakes higher than ever. Nobody knew what would happen next, but everyone knew they were about to witness something that would go down in rap history. And as Kendrick's car pulled up to the red carpet, the cameras flashed. The world watched, and the story was only just beginning. Inside the venue, the excitement was impossible to ignore. Everyone from rookies hoping to go viral to industry legends nursing old grudges kept there. Eyes glued to the arrivals, Kendrick slipped through a side entrance surrounded by security and tight-lipped handlers. No interviews, no smiles, just a quick nod to the cameras. Meanwhile, Eminem's arrival was just as mysterious. He ducked the main press line, sneaking in through a service corridor with only a trusted friend at his side. Even the seasoned paparazzi could sense something was up. Rumors ran wildwood, the two crossed paths backstage, or was something bigger brewing behind closed doors. Backstage, anxiety was thick in the air. Production crew whispered about last-minute changes to the set list, hinting that one performance block was being kept locked down with nobody allowed inside. A young stage manager swore she heard snippets of a Kendrick verse blasting through a dressing room door, while a sound tech claimed to see him pacing the hallway, headphones clamped over his ears, muttering lyrics under his breath. Artists scheduled to perform that night couldn't hide their nerves. Everyone knew that if Kendrick and M took the stage together, would be a moment that could reshape the entire genre. Meanwhile, the fans, millions of them watching at Warskate, watching washing ad home, and thousands crowding the arena kept up a non-stop stream of posts. Twitter was ablaze with theories. What if they drop a diss track on live TV? Imagine if M crowns Kendrick in front of the world, every time the camera cut to a shadowy figure backstage. Social media lit up with speculation. In chat rooms, die-hard stans argued over what a public brotherhood would mean for their idols' legacies. Some desperate for unity, others still suspicious of the motives behind Kendrick's revelation. As the opening acts came and went, the tension only grew. A-list performers dropped hints in their acceptance speeches. One rapper thanked the realest lyricists, dead or alive, while another quipped, "Tonight's the night secrets come out." When the hosts finally announced the Lifetime Influence Award, the arena held its collective breath. The names on the short list were Eminem, Kendrick, and a handful of other legends. Suddenly, the lights cut and a hush fell. The camera panned to Kendrick in the front row, his face unreadable, then to Eminem, seated across the room, head down and jaw set. As the winner's name echoed across the arena, an explosion of applause erupted. Em stood, paused, then glanced across the room at Kendrick. A silent moment passed between them, heavy with unspoken history. Em took the stage, accepted his trophy, and stepped up to the mic. "This game is built on legends," he began, his voice low but steady. "I learned from the best. But tonight, I want to recognize someone who pushed me to be better, even when he didn't know it." The crowd shifted, sensing something monumental. "Kendrick, you said the truth. And the truth is, respect runs both ways." The room went wild, fans screaming, phones held high to record the moment. Kendrick stood, walked slowly to the stage, and embraced Eminem in front of a stunned world. Cameras flashed as the two legends stood side by side. Em whispered something in Kendrick's ear, and for a second, they both laughed, the tension breaking just enough for everyone to breathe. The host tried to regain control, but it was pointless. The internet had already exploded. Hashtags trending worldwide as every outlet scrambled to capture the moment. As the ceremony went on, more details slipped out. Insiders confirmed. What? Fans had suspected the two would be recording together in secret that very night. And the award show had been the public's first glimpse into a partnership years in the making. Industry insiders marveled at the timing, with one executive muttering, "This just changed everything. The GOAT debate is over now. It's about the dynasty." Rival artists rushed to the press room, desperate to share their take, or maybe catch some of the shine. Tonight wasn't just about awards, one rapper told a reporter. It was about history. As the night drew to a close, social media exploded with side-by-side edits of Kendrick and Eminem, gifs of their hug, and conspiracy theories about what might come next. In the after-party circuit, whispers swirled. Could this lead to a world tour, an entire joint album, or maybe even a new supergroup that would shake the industry to its core? Fans sent messages by the thousands, begging for leaks, teasers, or even just a tweet from either artist. But both men stayed silent, at least for now, knowing the world was watching, waiting and hungry for the next chapter. The city barely slept after that historic night. By morning, the internet was still ablaze, fans dissecting every angle, every gesture, every whispered word between Kendrick and Eminem on stage. Reaction videos racked up millions of views in hours, memes, think pieces, and even fan art flooded every platform. One post, a sketch of Kendrick handing Eminem a crown, went viral with the caption, "The debate is done." Podcasts raced to upload emergency episodes, arguing what it all meant for the future of rap. Some hailed it as the end of an era of rivalry. Others claimed it was just the beginning of something even bigger. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, things were moving even faster than fans realized. Kendrick's phone didn't stop buzzing. His label, his manager, producers, all desperate to capitalize on the wave. Eminem's camp was the same, but with an added layer of caution. Don't let the hype kill the music, his longtime friend warned as they planned the next steps. But both artists knew the stakes were higher than ever. This wasn't just a trending moment. This was legacy. As speculation swirled about a possible joint project, insiders leaked that Kendrick and Eminem had spent the early hours in a private studio, surrounded by only their closest collaborators. Rumors ran wild. Was it a single, an album, or something nobody had ever seen before? A producer caught leaving the session was tight-lipped but couldn't hide his excitement. You're not ready for what's coming. Social media blew up with fake track lists and supposed snippets, fueling the frenzy even more. In the days that followed, the shockwaves hit every corner of the industry. Rival rappers rushed away, and some congratulating, others throwing shade. A few warning that the old guard wasn't ready to give up their spot. An up-and-coming artist tweeted, "Goat meets goat. That's unfair to the rest of us." The debates raged, but most agreed. The culture was witnessing history. But it wasn't all unity and celebration. Whispers of jealousy and fear began to creep in. One veteran producer confided to a journalist, "If those two really team up, who's left to compete?" Streaming services started prepping for record-breaking releases, adjusting their homepages and playlists in anticipation. Radio hosts promised wall-to-wall coverage the minute anything dropped. One media analyst compared it to the Beatles meeting Tupac. Nobody's ever seen this much anticipation for a collaboration. Away from the cameras, Kendrick and Eminem met again, this time in a more private setting. The conversation was Rano handlers, just two artists at the top of their game, talking legacy, pain, and what it means to hold the culture's respect. "You know they're all watching, right?" Kendrick joked, half smiling. Eminem nodded. "Let M watch. This is bigger than us." The mutual respect was real, but so was the pressure. As news trickled out that the two were planning a surprise, dropped possibly a diss track aimed at critics, or a vulnerable anthem about brotherhood, the anticipation reached a fever pitch. Fans set notifications, pre-saved links, even camped outside the studio, hoping for a glimpse or a leak. One reporter staked out the building for 12 hours, catching nothing but shadows moving behind tinted glass. In the midst of all this, a new wave of drama hit. An anonymous source leaked an old message thread showing heated debates between Kendrick and Eminem from years ago, back when mutual respect sometimes crossed into rivalry. Fans pounced, spinning stories about hidden beef and questioning if the new alliance was really as solid as it seemed. Both camps quickly issued statements. The past is the past. The future is what matters. But the buzz only grew. It wasn't long before the rest of the rap world reacted. Artists from all generations jumped into the conversation. Some excited, others nervous about being left behind. One legendary MC admitted, "This is a passing of the torch, but it's also a gauntlet thrown down for the next generation." Fans picked sides, hashtags trended, and the anticipation for what Kendrick and Eminem would do next reached a boiling point. As the week wore on, all eyes stayed glued to the possibility of a new release. Every post, every tweet, every rumor was dissected, debated, and memed to death. Nobody could predict what would happen next, but one thing was clear: the debate about the GOAT was over. The real question now was, what would Kendrick and Eminem do with all that power, and how would it change the rap game forever? As the world tried to process the fallout from Kendrick Lamar's explosive comments about Eminem, the story was far from winding down anything. Things were only getting more unpredictable. Behind the scenes, Eminem himself had finally decided it was time to break his silence, but in true Slim Shady style. He didn't go straight to the media or social networks. Instead, he sent a private message to Kendrick, a few carefully chosen words that nobody but the two of them would ever see. But, of course, in the age of the internet, nothing stays secret for long. Within days, rumors swirled that Eminem's reply wasn't just supportive, but also contained a cryptic warning. Truth is powerful, but it always has a price. Those close to both artists claimed that the bond between them was now being tested in a way it never had been before. Friends on both sides noticed a sudden shift in tone. While Kendrick stayed relatively quiet, his circle grew tighter, with only a few trusted collaborators allowed into the inner sanctum. Meanwhile, Eminem's longtime confidants described him as restless, pacing, maybe even hurt. A veteran producer who'd worked with both rappers confided, "These two were always brothers in arms, but now the world's watching every move, and that kind of pressure changes people." In the streets, fans picked sides, some arguing Kendrick had shown the ultimate respect, others believing he'd accidentally stirred up drama that should have stayed private. Social media exploded with theories about what was really going on. Behind the scenes, a fake screenshot of a supposed text argument between the two went viral on Twitter, sparking heated debates in comment sections everywhere. Who's telling the truth? Is faking for clout? Fans wondered as the speculation became a sport in itself. Meanwhile, music industry insiders weren't about. But while the world waited for the next headline, life went on for both Kendrick and Eminem. Kendrick threw himself into his music, pouring every ounce of pressure and controversy into the booth, refusing to let the drama knock him off his path. Those closest to him said he'd never sounded more focused, more urgent, or more inspired. "He's on another level right now," one producer said. "He's not just making tracks, he's making statements." For Eminem, it was a different sort of reckoning. Longtime friends described him as both proud of Kendrick's loyalty and troubled by the spotlight, suddenly shining on their friendship. He always wanted to be respected by the next generation, an old friend shared, but he never asked for this much attention. The rivalry, if you could call it, that was now the talk of every rap forum, podcast, and barbershop in the country. Even some old-school legends weighed in.